Hey, in the wake of everything that happened in Substack where they decided to be a weird home for white nationalists, I had already recorded episodes for the old podcast, I Just Want to Talk to Friends. Because of that, they are now getting uploaded under the new rebrand of the show called Casual Yelling. So you're going to hear me say I Just Want to Talk to Friends a few times. Ignore it. This is all part of Casual Yelling. These episodes have not aired yet. And with that, let's just get into the show. Hi, welcome to I Just Want to Talk to Friends, a show about existential dread, trauma, and grief. Kind of about that. I don't know. I'm Matt Elfring. Film, thank you. I have two returning champions for this week's special episode called Movie Mayhem. Once again, Serpentico is flexing.
I'm always going to flex whenever I'm considered a champion, so thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, also one of my closest friends in the world, Chris Hayner, is also flexing and giving a weird smile.
I'm a professional wrestler too.
Professional flexer. There you go.
I'm wearing a Simon Phoenix shirt.
I'm wearing Snoop Dogg.
Nice. There you go. I have a Escape from Alcatraz shirt. You know.
Yeah.
We're all wearing. It's a good shirt day.
Good shirt.
I love Alcatraz. I've been to Alcatraz.
Oh, cool.
I remember when I went as an adult, like I went as a kid, like there was like the little, I lived outside of San Francisco, so we had the little kid field trip. Mm-hmm. Don't remember much of that. Remember going back as an adult and being like, oh my God, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater level was right. It's exactly like this.
I went earlier this year during one of our pay-per-views in San Francisco. And I remember like getting the tour and then going out to like their play yard. And just being completely so out of touch. Like there's a nice sunset and a big play yard. I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then realize like
this is like a hotel.
I'm in a prison. Yeah, not nice at all. I mean, the view's great. The view's fantastic.
Oh, you were there. It was you guys played the Cow Palace, right?
Yes.
Oh, my first Metallica show was at the Cow Palace. What a time.
Let's do things backwards this week.
Okay.
We're gonna start with plugs right off the bat.
Yeah.
Let's start with plugs. Serpentico, plug your things.
I mean, just Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, Ring of Honor. You know when to tune in for those. We tweet them out all the time. So please tune in and support the entire roster. It works very, very hard for your entertainment. That's all. You're
pointing so hard right now.
I'm a very I want to thank you guys for not inviting Nyla to this specific podcast.
Here's the thing.
I appreciate it.
It's gonna be awkward 5 minutes from now.
I sent a DM to Nyla and she has yet to respond. So
there you go. See, that's
classic Rose.
She misses out. She misses out.
Chrissy Hayner, please plug your things.
This is awkward. I'm here to plug my professional wrestling promotion, the National Wrestling Alliance.
Wait, did you buy it for Billy Corgan? I'm sorry, William Patrick Corgan?
I've decided that we're going to add 3 more R's to the word power and call it a day.
Thank you. There you go.
You look, Big Kid Podcasts. It's at Big Kid Pod on YouTube. It's Big Kid Podcast on all the things. I just talk to people about stuff, and sometimes I talk to myself about stuff.
Yeah.
We have to record actually, Matt, my holiday special here soon. Me, you, and my partner Nikki are watching The Nightmare Before Christmas, a movie I have never seen.
Oh, that's right.
Have you never seen this movie before?
What?
I'll be honest with you. So when I was young and it came out, we were poor, so I had to pick my going to the movies very carefully.
Fair.
As we got old, everybody wouldn't stop talking about how amazing this movie was, and like that's enough to drive me away from a movie.
Yeah,
but I am a Disneyland fan. I am a California boy. Disneyland is my home and native land. I love it to death. However, every year in September they close the Haunted Mansion and turn it into Tim Burton's kooky Christmas trip. And that means I have to go on a Christmas ride on Halloween. And that's nonsense. And that made me hate Nightmare Before Christmas. So I still hadn't seen it. And then we were talking, we did a horror movies episode of my pod earlier this year, in which I revealed to Matt that I had never seen it. And we just decided on the spot, yeah, we're going to fix that. Yeah, and then I got many thank yous to the good people at whoever sent me the long list of digital codes. I now have a copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas, so I don't have to actually pay for it.
There you go.
Hey, Editor Matt here. I'm just going to, there's a bunch of plugs for things that don't exist. So I'm now going to plug where I actually am. This show is called Casual Yelling. Please rate it and review it on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to all the places where you can find it. It is hosted on Patreon. Patreon.com/users/I'm Matt Elfring. Just search for I'm Matt Elfring, Patreon. You'll find it. A lot of the old podcast episodes are being uploaded there. Some of my old writing pieces are being uploaded there as well. So you can find a lot of the Substack stuff on Patreon now. I'm still writing new things. I ranked every Hives album for way too many words. I'm writing about me messing with scammers, which is one of my favorite things to do online. Lots of fun new stuff coming up. There's obviously the spin-off podcasts, one of which is called I Read, which did debut on Substack, but I put those episodes for free on the Patreon. This is also called Movie Mayhem. It's part of Casual Yelling. This is the first episode. There's going to be more episodes, probably with Serpentico and Chris Hayner. I don't know. Not all the plans have been made. And finally, there is a paid subscriber spinoff of Casual Yelling. It doesn't have a title yet, but it is Chris Hayner and myself doing something very, very fun that I do in normal life that I've already mentioned. So get back to the show. Back to the show. Also, it's launched now. I am producing a podcast called Gifted Kid, Messy Adult, a show about neurodiversity where the hosts Jessica Michaels and Ellie Michaels discuss living with ADHD, autism as an adult, and it's kind of like an explainer for what neurodiversity is and everything that kind of goes along with it. I'm on one episode talking about epilepsy. So
You should link me to that so I can pass it along Nikki's way.
it launches, this is in the past, or this is in the future that this is coming out, but it launches next week with just the trailer.
Oh, so this whole podcast is a lie.
Well, kind of, but I've been working on this show for like a month.
Okay. There you go.
Anyway, this is a Movie Mayhem episode, which I just made up before we started.
Nice.
Yeah, look at that.
I love
it's good.
Matt,
Nice.
I love that.
Movie
That's
Mayhem.
fantastic.
We're talking
before
about...
we get wait, before we get
hold
too
on,
deep,
hold on.
am I allowed to curse or should I censor myself?
So many people have cursed on this show, so
Okay.
whatever.
I don't remember. My first episode was a long time ago and we were both in really unhappy places.
Yeah.
So this is a big change. But I do see the words. I see the word asshole a few times in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I want to, Chris, I'm going to blow your mind for a second. Also, maybe Serpentico goes, oh, wait, there was something else I wanted to do really, really quick. For some reason, wrestling news sites listen to this podcast. I'm going to say there is no wrestling news here, but I'm going to give you one piece of information. Lots of people talk about Mount Rushmores of things. Serpentico,
Ooh.
what is your Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores?
Ooh, man.
Do I get to answer this too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
I am a big proponent of Mount Fuji.
Okay.
Always nice in pictures. I've never visited myself, but it's fantastic. The Mount Rushmore, the Mount Rushmore is pretty up there.
Yeah.
That's the only two mounts I really know. I don't, that's what type of mounts are like horses? Or
I don't know.
like,
This is
I'll tell
only
you-
for wrestling news sites that really want to get the deets.
I'll tell you what, Matt. I know the answer to this question. Obviously,
okay.
my Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores is clearly the Mount Rushmore of pizza toppings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling managers. I like managers. I love managers.
That would be actually a very good one. Yeah.
The Mount Rushmore of U2 concerts I've been to.
Okay.
The George Washington obviously is 360 tour, the final show in Canada. And lastly,
Like the president?
huh?
Like the president, George Washington?
Yeah, like
What do we-
so if Mount Rushmore has George Washington's face on it,
Got
my Mount Rushmore of U2 concerts I've been to, the George Washington would be the final show on the 360 tour.
Got it. Okay. I was very confused for a second. I thought there was a band called George Washington. All right. That's
That'd be
pretty
pretty
cool.
And then honestly, it's the Mount Rushmore of Weird Al Yankovic songs.
Yeah, perfect.
Which one is your George Washington of that?
Oh my God. Dog Eat Dog. My Thomas Jefferson, though, is Albuquerque.
Okay.
Is Thomas Jefferson on the Mount Rushmore? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if George Washington is on Mount Rushmore.
I believe it's him, Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and maybe Jefferson.
Okay. Oh man.
Probably Sting. Sting's
It's
on it.
the
Probably.
Sting. The music of Sting.
The music of Sting.
Not
Yeah.
the wrestler. Not Mr.
No,
Sting.
but no. Did you know it's Sting the wrestler's albums? He has a lot of them. They're just
Yes.
released in very specific markets.
Correct.
My Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores is Mount Rushmore 4 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mount
Like in different years?
Rushmoreception.
Just
Like-
the same year.
Which of your Mount Rushmores is the one from National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets when they actually go hunting and find like the special cave inside of Mount Rushmore?
Oh, that's up George Washington's nose, I believe. So that's one.
Wow.
And 4.
Also, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
We're talking about Blank Check. I'm disappointed that none of us picked Mount Richmore, the Richie Rich Mount Rushmore from the
Okay,
Richie
yeah.
Rich movie starring Macaulay Culkin.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry,
My
I'll
segment
stop now.
called "Enjoy Wrestling News Sites." Nothing else is being discussed wrestling. We're talking about the movie Blank Check. I'm about to blow Chris's mind, possibly Serpentico here.
Okay.
This came out February 11th, 1994, directed by Rupert Wainwright. Chris Serpentico. He is also the director of MC Hammer's Too Legit to Quit music video, which is 14 minutes long. Chris and I covered
Wait,
it on
the
my old
one you
podcast.
made me talk about?
The one
for
I made you watch
an hour
on,
and a half?
Podcast Killed the Video Star, the show I used to run.
That was a beautiful piece of art.
Hold on. This music video is 14 minutes long.
14 minutes long. It's about Hammer quitting music, and all the celebrities are upset.
Who does he think he is? Michael Jackson? Come on.
Once upon a time, for about 5 minutes, MC Hammer had the sort of cachet to pull off a 14-minute music video.
Yes, very true. But 14 minutes is a long time to
It's a good
sing about
music video.
any one thing.
But also, it's a long time for like not even his top song.
Yeah.
Like,
what can you possibly sing about 14 minutes straight? I don't.
Being too legit to quit, even though it's about him quitting.
isn't
All right.
the ghost of James Brown in that song or something?
No, James Brown is still alive and does a literal passing of the torch to MC Hammer.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna have to check this out. I don't have
so
any
good.
recollection of this 14-minute long odyssey of a video.
Yeah. I want to mention that prior to Blank Check, 1 week prior, Ace Ventura was released. So
The first one?
the first one, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. That really reframes a lot of how I viewed the comedy of this movie.
It sure does.
Yes.
Holy cow.
A little background on just kind of the movie. It takes place in Hillsdale, Indiana. In real life, it's an unincorporated community in central west Indiana. I do not know the population. It is small, very small town. It has 2 north and south roads, and then 1st through 3rd streets. I checked on Google Maps. It has 1 temporary closed bar, a fire station, maybe 30 houses. It's roughly 50 miles west of Indianapolis. There you go. Now we know where it
Sounds
takes
like
place.
a happening place. I'd hang out there for a few minutes.
I completely understand why the weirdo mafia guy crook man,
Ish.
like the guy who's like, I'm running things here in tiny Indiana. Like, what?
We're talking about escaped convict Carl Quigley, played by Miguel Ferrer. It opens with him like just running down a wet train track.
Such a dramatic intro for a kids movie, I guess.
It's
Look,
so
there
dark.
there is a shocking number of things in this movie that do not belong in a kid's
That's
movie.
very true. So when this
but
movie
yeah.
opened, number one, my little anecdote that I wanted to mention before we started this discussion about this movie. I was in Canada all week, and some internet providers blocked certain movies and TV shows depending on what country you're at. I didn't have a VPN with me handy, so I couldn't check the movie out while I was in Canada. So I watched it last night when I landed. And for some reason, I played the movie and I hit play, and I'm just kind of like in and out, waiting for the movie to start. And I started watching. Instead of picking this movie, I picked Dunstan Checks In for some reason. So there's a big hotel, a fancy hotel, and a thief monkey, and I'm trying to figure out why am I watching this. Like, maybe this is the movie they wanted me to watch. And I checked my email. I'm like, no, I was correct the first time, but I clicked on Dunstan Checks In for some reason. So I watched half an hour of that before I actually sat down and started watching this fugitive run away from a train, something.
He was evicted. Like he had the orange jumpsuit on, so like
Yeah.
he left prison. We're I guess assuming we can
Yeah.
only speculate on where this man is from, and I'm assuming he escaped from prison.
You don't think he was let go in the middle of the night while it's raining?
Here you go. We don't
I
have
just-
clothes for you. Take your orange jumpsuit.
I'm just glad that someone brought up Dunstan Checks In. That movie taught me what kleptomania means.
That's the next movie we're doing.
That's the next one we should check out.
That's
Guess
literally the only thing I remember about Dunstan Checks In is the monkey was a thief.
Yes.
And the word kleptomaniac is used at some point.
It is also $3.79 on Amazon Prime, which how I know because I clicked on it to watch it before realizing it was the wrong movie.
Don't worry, Matt can reimburse you for that.
Perfect.
I can? Okay, sure. This guy goes into a warehouse. There's blowtorches, fences, a welding mask, apparently. And he grabs a briefcase full of money and then kisses the money. That is your opening. The entire opening.
Does this not feel like it could also be the opening of like a late 90s John Woo film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Setting up the bad guy and the money, like cut to the next scene, like Jackie Chan, flying spin kicks into frame.
And I know we're supposed to fill in our the context ourselves after watching, this man run by train tracks while it's raining in the middle of the night, and he happens to know where this warehouse is and where this briefcase is and what's inside of it. But how did I don't know? I'm not very good navigator when it comes to leaving my house and finding places. This man showed up on foot to a specific warehouse and found a specific briefcase. How does he do this? He's probably been locked up for a little bit, right? It hasn't been a week, right? I can assume it's probably, I would think, maybe a few months, maybe a year, depending on what he did to get there.
I would also argue, to strengthen your point, it's not as if he has a cell phone with Google Maps in it or something.
Right. It was the 90s.
He just has a good memory.
Yeah, the map.
I only knew how to find stuff based on what side of the road I'm used to it being on from my bike.
Right.
Let's get to Preston Waters, the Waters family.
This
is where it gets super. This sets the tone for the movie. Preston is played by Brian Bosel. He's preparing a speech to give to his dad about his brothers Damien and Ralph having their own rooms, but they're taking over his room as well.
They kick him out of his own room so his brothers can have hand and foot industries. What is that? They never explain what hand and foot means. They just do their stupid handshake while they dance in circles around the room. And the dad's like, capitalism.
These are the 90s. This must make sense. Sure.
Well, according to the back of their shirt, they do odd jobs. What does that mean?
Well, to be fair, we see them doing some odd jobs late in the film,
yes,
which, I'm assuming we'll get to. But why do they need a separate room to do any of this in?
That's the warehouse, I guess.
And two computers. They're not doing anything. They're just dumb kids who are mowing lawns.
They needed room for their compact presario,
Yes.
Very big and bulky.
The dad is clearly a horrible yuppie raising super shitty Republican children who are going to rule the world one day.
By the way, the dad in this film has never aged. He still looks the same today.
He does.
Yep.
I want to make a couple. That's James Rebhorn. I want to make note of a couple items in Preston's room because I found myself rewinding to look at it. He has a hand-drawn picture of America with Cuba about 10 sizes too big, and Puerto Rico is just a big square, just in the middle of the Gulf.
I didn't even know. I'm from there. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Next to that is a hand-drawn picture of a globe. And then below that hand-drawn picture of a globe is a real globe. Preston loves Earth.
Maybe Preston's an aspiring cartographer. Maybe he wants to draw maps.
He clearly wants to set sail to uncharted waters without a GPS and see what happens.
I choose to believe that this was a subplot removed from the film for the running time.
Maybe there was a sequel planned and the movie didn't do too good. We don't know. The
sequel is him just sailing in the Gulf of Mexico, trying to find Cuba and Puerto Rico and being so off.
Also, the like as Preston's questioning his dad about this, about like why this is happening to him specifically, the dad says something that blows my mind, and I wrote this quote down. They have jobs and they learn to save. They do not have jobs. They don't actually have a company. Their job doesn't exist. You gave them my room. They stole the money from me, and you just offered them more money. They literally robbed my piggy bank. You're like, hey guys, what, $20? Get out of here.
And his dad says to Preston, at his age, he had his own business, cleaning wheels. Just cleaning wheels.
What
Cleaning
wheels?
wheels.
Like tires on cars?
Just cleaning wheels.
Is that an LLC? Cleaning Wheels LLC? Is that like?
Also, the Preston, like at like it's almost as if there's just as if there is definitely way too much stuff happening in like the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
As they try to set up what a horrible life Preston has. His parents send him to a theme park birthday party with no money.
With Butch, who is the meanest kid in the world.
I also didn't see like a present. So they sent him to this birthday party without a present, I'm assuming. And he had $3 in his pocket.
$6.
He had $6 in his pocket.
That's
but like, wasn't the only ride he wanted to go on 7 tickets?
That was the Rattler roller coaster, and it cost each dollar is a token. So this theme park is already wildly wild. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
He goes on a carousel, and then before that, an airplane carousel. So he's already spent, I'm going to assume, 4 or 5 tokens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So turn around and go home. You're done. What are you gonna do?
I'm assuming that cotton candy cost
run away. I'm going to
run away from home,
away.
please.
Yeah, like
why would you go to your bully's birthday party?
Well, internet was very scarce back then. So what are you gonna do? There's no internet. Like, I don't know, just hang out in the park with your worst enemy. That's what I do. I mean, no, for the what? This is what we do now here.
I went to a bully's birthday party in elementary school.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like there was just this weird social conditioning where everyone went to everybody's birthday party in like the late 80s, early 90s, because it was just like, when you're a parent, anything that makes your kid leave the house for more than 45 minutes is a godsend, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I
love my son. I love him so much.
That's fair.
And B, like, it's just part of the social contract of like being a kid in that era. Like, I had my I'm assuming we all had our group of friends. I had my group of friends that were the ones I hung out with every single day. But then there was also the larger school group who was like, oh man, Robert has a birthday party. Like my buddy Robert lived across the street, his birthday party was his birthday was the second week of June. So his birthday party was always the first weekend of summer break. And it was like a huge deal because all the kids went, because it was like the first big party of summer break. And it was usually like the community pool. So like, that was not unrealistic to me. What was unrealistic was literally everything else about this movie.
Because we go back to the house for dinner, and Fred, Preston's father, gave him $6 to go to the amusement park. But then during that dinner, Fred offers Ralph and Damien money to go out and do whatever they want. We skipped over the part where Preston makes this like text to speech thing where he says Damien and Ralph sleep butt to face, butt to face, butt to face, which is impossible.
Butt to face.
So Preston gets a blank check from his grandmother for his birthday. And
why is it impossible?
You can't sleep butt to face.
Absolutely, you can.
Not 2 people.
Only one person can.
Yes,
I'm assuming
if you have 3.
I mean, I can turn one way. Like it's
you got it's a big circle.
Yeah. But like, I guess
still
you're
a kids
right.
Movie, right? I don't know.
You're right. Okay, I take
unless you can bend your back all the way and also turn your head 180 degrees.
And then it's like different. Then it's a horror movie, right?
Yeah. At that point, it's The Exorcist.
Honestly, if with just a slightly different tone, this is a horror movie.
It's wildly inappropriate already. He gets a blank check for $11, or his father fills it out for $11. Preston goes to the computer and figures out how long it would take to make $1 million based off 3.45 interest.
300 some thousand
356,000 years or something.
Here's the thing. I did the math. It would take 337 years to reach $1 million based off of $11, no inflation, but 3.45 interest.
Man, I really wish I would have known about this like when I was a kid. I'd be rolling in money by now.
I mean, by 100 years, it's only $326.
I also wrote this down. It only took 8 minutes for them to say the words blank check in the movie.
It says so much.
It's my favorite thing, but also it's just so ridiculous.
So I saw this movie when I was a kid. So
same.
My memory was hazy when rewatching it last night. And when the blank check showed up, I'm like, oh, that was quick. Okay, this is the start of the plot. There's a blank. Okay, he gets.
We got it.
Millionaire now. That's it. Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
Sorry, Grandma.
8 minutes in. Yeah, you bankrupt your grandma. Yes. So that's what I want to see.
Preston decides to make a birthday wish list because his birthday's on Friday. It's coming up on Friday.
He should have made the wish list way before now.
He should have. Number one is to have his brothers knocked off. So he wants his brothers murdered.
So the wording is very interesting.
Yes.
Knocked off as in like someone clonk him on the head, or knocked off as in and for those, it's not a video podcast, but I did the hanging thing. He wants to murder his see, it is a horror movie. He wants to murder he wants to murder his brothers. That's wild. This kid's what, 7?
He's 12. I think he's about 12 is what I'm guessing.
Okay, then yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Number 2 is a house. He fills out 3 and 4 later, but number 2, house.
I like that. He has his priorities straight. Murder, then home. I like it.
We get a bit of backstory on Quigley at this point. We're introduced to Biederman, which is played by Michael Lerner, who apparently testified against him in court and is also the president of a bank. President of a bank.
Banks have presidents, I think.
Do
don't
they?
I mean, I don't think they're elected. Like an American.
It's not a democracy, right? No, the head of I like him.
I think it's probably less of a thing now. Well, no, it's honestly because banks are more. I feel like banks are more corporately owned and franchised at this point. But I remember hearing the words president of a bank many, many times throughout my life.
Okay, all right, I'll take
maybe. I could be wrong.
Quigley needs $1 million laundered. They've
Biederman you're supposed to do. You're supposed to.
$1 million.
$1
We're all doing the pinky to the mouth.
Yeah, we're all Dr. Evil today.
They're gonna launder the money, but Quigley's not gonna pick it up. His friend Juice is going to do it.
Okay. First of all, I have so many thoughts.
Yeah.
I feel like hearing the name Juice and knowing this movie was made in 1994, Tone Loc is going to play Juice. There is literally no one else on the planet that could play Juice but Tone Loc.
I think Sinbad could be a decent second place for the time period.
I feel like Sinbad isn't hard enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got
Sinbad had like a TGIF sitcom.
Serpentico, what's your third option?
My third option, seeing that you mentioned wrestling websites tune into podcasts like these. I think Juice Robinson would have been great in this role.
There's the scoop.
Just wacky hair, Juice Robinson going for $1 million and not fine. It's great.
I
want to have him ad lib the entire movie. No script for it. He just ad libs the entire
I'm pretty sure Tone Loc ad libbed every line.
I'm just imagining Juice Robinson constantly screaming about the Bang Bang Gang and everyone being like, "What are you talking about? You don't have a gun."
A time traveling Juice Robinson.
Searching for $1 million.
The most amount of money a 12-year-old could think of.
Yeah.
But also coincidentally, how much money
the most amount of money a criminal will have.
By the criminal who escaped prison. And by the way, nobody really at this moment, we don't know if anyone's looking for him, if this is a problem. He just found a suit and now he's, he looks nice and all, I don't know.
He's got a fancy suit on. And also, if they would just cut to a TV saying, this guy escaped prison.
Something. But clearly in the 90s, it's not that big of a deal.
No.
Instead, he just walks right into a very busy bank.
Yes. Yeah, no one notices him.
That probably is monitored, and has security, and I don't know.
God, he does dozens of things throughout this movie that would draw the attention of literally any police officer on the planet.
Or the FBI, which is already implanted at that bank. We're introduced.
Okay, so so as Evil McEvil is leaving, he accidentally almost murders Preston accidentally.
We're jumping forward too quick. I want to point something out.
Okay,
we're
go ahead.
introduced to Shay, played by Karen Duffy, everyone's crush in 1994. It's still probably my crush at this point.
I read up on Karen Duffy. Good for her, man. She's done some good in this world.
That's it's good to hear. But Shay is I want to point this out as Preston walks into the bank. There are so many flyers announcing that Shay works at the bank now. Like, it's a big deal.
Maybe she's like a hot rookie signing.
But she's part of the FBI.
Well, right. But like have you ever seen Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence?
Have I seen it more than 10 times? Yes.
Yeah. Maybe this is like a Blue Streak Martin Lawrence situation where they're setting her up with like a champion's introduction.
I'm into that. I'll take
it. To make people at the bank be like, oh my God, did you hear Shay?
Was she the top prospect at Banking Academy? Is that what we're saying?
Banking Academy.
she was the top prospect. So.
She played shortstop at Money U.
And they sent her to Indiana.
Yeah.
Big money market,
That is the biggest money market.
Evidently that's where all the criminals go to get $1 million.
$1 million, yes.
Serpentico, what happens next?
Where do we love? I'm sorry. What was the last thing we did?
Preston meeting Shay for the first time and not being able to open an account because he has only $11.
Oh, then
he's 200.
Yes, of course. Then he leaves the bank all sad and childlike. Gets on his bike, and lo and behold, what happens?
Quigley runs over his bike.
He runs over his one bike. This child has it so bad. He has terrible father, terrible brothers. Now his one solitary.
You know what?
bike.
His mom sucks too. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what? Yeah.
I forgot my favorite line of the movie. So when they're setting the computers up, his father says, "This can teach you how to do everything except make love to a woman." In front of his
wild.
Kids.
This is a kids movie.
And what his mother says is, "Now I know what to get your dad for Christmas." In front of her 3 boys.
Wow. By the way, this movie's on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Which is wild that this is happening.
They wouldn't even make the Lizzie McGuire show for Disney Plus.
Which is
this is on Disney Plus.
Quigley writes Preston a blank check because Butch is there.
No. He doesn't even write him a blank check. He literally just signs a check. He doesn't fill out the 2. He doesn't fill out the
gives
note.
him a check.
He doesn't write, by the way, it's for this stupid fucking bike that I ran over.
$12 bike that I ran over.
He puts his autograph on a blank check and he's like, I don't know, let your dad figure it out.
Which, for someone who, clearly cares about money, this man went to launder $1 million. Why would he give anybody, let alone a child, a check, just a blank? I know he didn't want to raise suspicion because he's a fugitive, which is the first time they allude to him, being worried that he's out free somewhere.
They show a cop car and he's just like, oh,
oh no, they finally caught on to me. Like, you walked in the bank like you owned the place.
Also, it's hilarious to note that by the end of the movie, the police still are not on to him.
Not at all.
He self-incriminates himself.
Yes!
They're like, oh,
yeah, you back to jail. I'm like,
but the cops
damn.
never connect Quigley to being the guy that escaped jail. He goes to prison for a different reason.
I would imagine that I've never been in prisons, but when you intake the prisoner, they go, "Oh, this is the dude that escaped a month ago. We got him, guys. We did it."
You changed your name to Mr. Macintosh? That's curious.
Yeah, interesting.
Preston writes the check for himself for $1 million because why not?
Yeah. But by the way, may I interject?
Please do.
He does this on his 1992 era compact Presario Macintosh thing, right?
Yeah.
And he perfectly aligns his text to the blank checks line, which I
He's
can't
very
do to
good.
this day.
No,
I try to fill
no.
out forms on my phone, and everything just moves around as if it was like an earthquake in my phone.
yeah.
So this kid is clearly a technological genius. Good for him.
Well, he can make the computer say butt to face a bunch.
Butt to face, butt to face.
Or make offers on houses.
Oh, that's another thing that I have a bone to pick with this movie.
All right, yeah,
Let's get to that.
It's a
Let's
castle.
get to that.
First, right before we get to that, I just want to take the moment to question the room. If you were the president of a bank, in what
Mr.
world
President,
would you?
yes.
Yeah, in what world would you assume that the criminal sent an 8-year-old to pick up $1 million?
Because
You literally said the name of the person that's supposed to pick it up. You said the name Juice, and he's like, "No, thank you." And he's like, "Genius." What? What are you talking about?
Also, the president, Mr. President of this bank, very cartoonishly keeps the money in his office on a wall safe right behind him.
Yep.
Just he turns around. Oh, there it is. This is where all the money of the bank is.
He didn't have to move a painting from in front of it. He didn't have to open a secret door panel.
Behind his head in his office. All the money in Indiana is right there, just hanging out.
We're also missing the fact that Tone Loc eventually enters and is just checking out every woman.
Hey, it's Juice, man.
Look at this lady
Juice.
walking past me. Oh my god!
Give me the monies. Is that Karen Duffy?
Again on Disney Plus.
But Quigley and Preston, using the text to speech program, are in a bidding war for a castle that starts at $120,000 or $160,000.
Okay,
which is about the price I paid for my house that I live in.
This makes me so angry.
This is where the movie begins falling apart. $1 million should not last this kid more than a day.
Well, now,
No. He bought a literal castle.
yes,
And his overpaying egregiously for it was offering $300,000. You can't buy a house now for $300,000 unless you move to
one where you want to live
in
Yeah.
Indiana.
well, maybe Hillsdale, Indiana, has castles worth $300,000.
Do we think that castle was moved over brick by brick from like Ireland?
It's an impressive house.
It's very
it looks
impressive.
cool.
Why in the middle of Indiana does this place exist? Period.
Not only that, it's like 6 houses down from where Preston's family is.
Right. And they never alluded to, this specific, King Arthur castle until just now. He never rode by it earlier and looked at it and went, oh, one day I want to live there. No, he just outright just bought it on the way back home from the bank.
It would have been, honestly, it would have been so awesome if, like, here's how we fix the movie. So if, as he's walking his busted up bike home after Evil McBad runs it over with his car, if he has to walk by that house, he's like, someday.
Yes.
With his busted up bicycle and all of his going home to his
rides,
mean parents.
He rides by it earlier, but when he gets home with the busted bike, this is before the $1 million. His parents are so mad that someone ran over his bike, and not his fault at all.
No, they're mad at him that someone almost hit him with a car.
Killed him. May I interject and mention, he made a list for his birthday.
Yeah.
And what was the first thing that he said? He wanted to off his brothers.
Yes.
So when he gets this money and gets a blank check and gets $1 million, the first thing he does is buy the house. He doesn't offer to kill his brothers.
True. He goes right to number 2.
He should have gone to number 1, and this movie would have been way more awesome if that was the case.
He should have offered the villain the money back, but you just have to kill my brothers in exchange. Everyone would have gotten away happily.
If he had told Tone Loc to, hey, I'll give you your money back if you off these 2 idiots and give them all the pertinent information, and the rest of the movie is Tone Loc trying to chase behind these 2 goofballs. That would have been great.
Yeah. This is where we get to meet Henry, the limo driver, who is given $1,000 immediately by Preston, and we get our first montage of Preston going out to buy things and his growing relationship with Henry, a man in his 30s.
No
Matt,
one
I'm gonna
ever
tell you.
questions this.
No
ever.
one.
It
Just
says-
no one says this is weird. Nothing at all.
It says right here in my notes, all caps with an exclamation point, fashion montage. I
First thing he
love
buys is clothes. He is 12
I
years old.
love it. I love it. I love
12-year-old
the
boys
monta-
don't care about clothes.
No, he
They
does.
care about bikes and
You don't.
whatever it is I cared about when I was so. Generally not clothes.
Do you have any t-shirts, cool t-shirts I wanted when I was 12? All
I mean,
of
but
them.
like he's buying suits, tailored
Oh, I
suits
know.
for a child.
now he honestly he's doing the 41-year-old version of what I would be doing, which is
Dressing
like,
the
let's go buy wacky clothes and then an inflatable boxing ring and go-karts.
The song playing, because this was very important to me for montage songs, Money, which is originally performed by the Beatles, but this version is performed by Zendetta, and it is the most overzealous version of a classic
yeah.
Beatles song.
Wow,
Love it.
I can't believe Blank Check managed to get Zendaya for this.
No, Zendetta, not Zendaya. Zendetta.
Sorry?
Zendetta. Like
Oh,
Vendetta,
okay.
but with a Z.
Oh, Venom.
I get it.
Zendetta.
I get
Is
it.
Eminem in
I
this?
get it.
That'd be cool.
No, but
That'd be tight.
MCM is. Who is that? I have no idea. So on the way home from the shopping experience, Preston sees Shay jogging at night in the street.
Just coincidentally, listen, I know movies are all just big coincidences to be able to wrap up in 90 minutes to 3 hours. It's all one big coincidence from the start of the movie to the end. I get it. This, a little bit too much of a coincidence.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
No.
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. So the next day, a bunch of things are being delivered to Preston. If anybody would like to just jump in and just describe some of the things, the pallets being delivered to their Preston's new house, please go ahead.
Dude, he gets all of he's doing the thing that we all dreamed of doing as a kid. He's getting all the best toys, he's getting all the new tech,
but he's getting like multiple things of like of one thing.
Chips Ahoy, Oreos.
You don't need
he's
that
spending
many cookies.
so much more than $1 million. Watch yourself, first of all. I would love if someone just delivered a pallet of Oreos and Chips Ahoy to my
Chris,
house.
give me a second here. Let me just.
Matt, if you send me literally one Oreo cookie, I will sing your praises forever. But like, no, it's like he's spending so much more than $1 million. First of all, 300,000 out the gate is gone, plus fees. Then
There
he
are
went.
closing
I'm gonna
costs.
say
There
plus.
is.
I'm gonna say he conservatively spent at least like 50 grand out shopping for clothes.
Clothes and
Right?
toys, like the Super Soaker
Clothes
fight
and toys.
inside the Sharper
Yeah.
Image.
Plus, he had to rent out the Sharper Image for that. I'm assuming.
Right, you can't just walk in there and do it. You'd be arrested.
Yeah.
Not in this movie, clearly.
What's funny is the idea of Blank Check as a movie is it's that thing we all dreamed about as kids, except this movie does the thing we dreamed about as kids in a montage and then surrounds it with 84 minutes of story that doesn't really add up. So like
Creepy
the
story.
part that is the kid dream stuff that we would think would be the entirety of the movie is kind of this little montage toward the middle of the film. And everything else is like, oh, we got to figure out a way to get this child and this FBI agent together romantically. You're
we're
like,
getting
what?
there.
that was wow.
Let's go back to the bad parenting. His father comes out while they're delivering stuff for Mr. McIntosh is the name of the person that owns all the. It's Preston. His father is
Mr.
impressed.
McIntosh.
Mr. McIntosh, butt to face. His father's fine with him working for this man he's never met. Just
This adult male he's never met. He's okay with just getting money and
with his 12-year-old
Capitalists are gonna
son.
capitalist.
Yeah, just child labor. This movie's about child labor. We get a montage of him playing all the games and all the things, and I want to point out it is a cover of "I Want Candy" by the British new wave band Bow Wow Wow.
Oh, not the rapper Bow Wow?
Not the. This is before Lil Bow Wow.
Probably wasn't even born yet. I get it.
Oh, so this is
Tiny
fair.
Bow Wow.
So
Fair.
Bow Wow Wow is Bow Wow's dad.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hey, wrestling news sites. That's what we're saying right now. Yes. Put that out there. Rumor and
Serpentico
innuendo.
says the band Bow Wow Wow is actually Lil Bow Wow's father. or
Biological
mother.
father. Yep, that's it.
Find out more this weekend on Collision.
I'll sneak that in somewhere.
Please do. So Preston and Shay are continue this weird conversation. Henry the limo driver.
Hero.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. He opens his. Shay comes by to see Mr. McIntosh, and Preston gives her $200 for the account, and they're going to go on a date together.
And
Mr.
also,
McIntosh is busy.
asks her out on a date. And Shay, an adult who works for the federal government, is like, yeah,
absolutely. Let's go. Nothing creepy about this.
And then they proceed to have the most romantic date in the history of film.
But that's
they
after,
run through. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's after Henry gives Preston on dating advice because Henry is quote unquote the babe meister.
This
8-year-old babe meister.
It's a 90s movie because someone called himself the babe meister. That is the most 90s line ever
you guys don't
in
do
a
that?
movie. Not anymore. I mean, I used to.
That's how 90s. I talk myself up in the morning. I stare in the mirror, have a cup of coffee. Like, you're the babe meister today.
Today's babe your meister. Day, babe meister.
Yeah,
I believe in you, babe meister.
Let's get out there and do this thing.
Have Serpentico, if you can, on TV, just have someone say babe meister.
I'm gonna write this down because I'm gonna have someone say babe meister.
If you can find a way to get Tony Schiavone to call you the babe meister.
You know what?
It doesn't even have to be on television.
It is now in my my weekly notes that I whenever I have a good idea for TV, I write stuff down, and I just wrote it down.
Nyla Rose is not a babe meister. Put that on a shirt.
That's right. Put that on a t-shirt.
Sorry, Nyla. Just answer your DMs.
So are we up to the date?
Let's just go right to the date because there's a bunch of BS in between. Let's just.
It's so romantic.
Very
which is
romantic.
Weird because it's
an
FBI agent and a tiny child.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there like they get really close to each other?
Oh yeah,
their faces get really close.
Because he takes her to run through the fountain.
Yeah,
and she chases him. She chases him through the fountain.
I'll have you know that I've been on plenty of dates, at least 3. At least 3. And not once have I seen a fountain go, it's a good idea to get all like wet and uncomfortable on this date. Sure, let's do that.
I haven't done that on a date. However, I have been with friends at Universal City Walk in Hollywood. There is a fountain there in front of the Abercrombie and Fitch that I've definitely run through. However, I haven't done it. Been like, aren't we an adorable couple? Adult, I'm 8.
Yes. See, there's a fountain at Universal City Walk in Orlando, and every time I go, there are children, running through there. I'm like, oh, look how adorable. I've never seen an adult, going, hey, you want to get some yogurt later? Like,
small sidetrack. Are you a City Walk fan, Serpentico?
I am a City Walk fan. I actually visited City Walk in Hollywood a few weeks ago. Very different from the Orlando one.
It's
pretty cool.
So different. It's so
I do
small.
enjoy that park is pretty much built on the side of a mountain. So half the park is up top, and you take a few trams all the way down. It's great. Really cool.
Yeah. Matt, Universal Studios Hollywood is so bizarre because it's still the Universal Studios lot, like production lot.
I've been to the Florida or the Orlando one or whatever.
The Orlando one is all built on one level. No, we've never been to a theme park together. It's disgusting. But in Hollywood, you have to take like 5 giant escalators to get down to half the theme park.
It's on the side of
the Jurassic Park and Transformers rides. You have to take a series of escalators known as
all the way on the ground.
It's bizarre. It's so bizarre.
God, I feel like we went together, but maybe that might have been Star Wars Celebration, and I was by myself covering that. And I just went to Universal with a couple like other journalists. Matt
you should
Fowler,
come down.
Actually.
We can go to ET. It's the best ride.
I want to point out, we've said it before already, but Preston is 12. That's what I believe it's kind of.
Oh, he's 12?
By the end of the movie, you kind of figure out he's 12. Karen Duffy's character of Shay, I believe, I'm going to say generously,
she's in her 30s.
She's not 12, right?
I'd say like 30. She's
going to point out that. So 30 is not 12. Just want to put it out
30
That's
is not
true.
12.
Okay.
In fact, 12 plus 12 is still less than 30. So
yes.
There is no way this can be figured out in which this might be sort of okay. how many lawsuits are going to come as a result of this?
Exactly. even if we look at when he becomes 18, she's 38. And I know you can have older, younger relationships, but at 18 to 38 is still, to me, super inappropriate.
I'll say, Matt, their final scene together, obviously it's jumping ahead, but like it was just chit-chatting. Their final scene together, they negotiate on how many years has to pass before he can call.
6 years.
And they settle on 6 years. And at the time, I thought he was 8. So I was like, Karen Duffy, he will be 14.
That's why I say he's 12.
Disgusting.
But
like, so he'll be 18 and she'll be 38. Yeah, that's totally cool and not weird at all. That's not, I don't know, grooming.
Yeah.
It's grooming. It's child grooming.
By the federal government.
by the FBI. The FBI.
How is she not arrested by her own FBI agent?
The FBI is grooming this child to catch an imaginary billionaire.
That dude in the van listening in isn't going, huh? This is
something about this is weird.
Something is weird. Maybe I should intervene.
Instead, he's like, no, you know what? She should go on a date with him. That makes sense. And then when they're like, we don't even know if we're gonna be able to catch McIntosh. Well, if that fails, then grab the 8-year-old. We'll arrest him.
Yeah,
it's like
we'll hold him for 6 years at least.
Everybody hates this kid. Except Karen Duffy.
Karen Duffy is wildly into him. Henry, the limo driver, wildly into him.
Henry's the only person in this entire movie that's not a scumbag.
No, I think he is a little bit because he hangs out constantly with a 12-year-old, and it just feels
like it's for work. He's being paid to babysit,
to drive. He's being paid to drive him around, and there's so many scenes where like they're playing basketball, and he's like lifting up Preston in a way where I'm like, unless you're related or like an uncle, like it feels inappropriate.
And even then, you know.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk.
I don't like this anti-Henry agenda that seems to be going on here.
Are we going to discuss this 7-gallon tub of ice cream that shows up twice in the movie?
The garbage pail of ice cream from Haagen-Dazs.
Number one, I am lactose intolerant, so when I saw this tub of ice cream show up, I'm like, number one, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
There's no way you can eat through this before it turns into like milk putty. And number two, like, what if you do eat a little bit of it, you're still gonna go into sugar coma, and then what happens, Henry? What are you trying to do, Henry?
I'll be real with you. I wanted to dunk my head into that thing. Like, if someone brings me a bucket filled with an ice cream sundae, I'm 100% going to attempt to dunk my head into it, just so I can be like, I dunked my head into a bucket of ice cream.
Life goal achieved. I like it. I like a man with goals. Hell yeah.
That's because
also I have very specific thoughts on what an ice cream sundae would be, and I'll say this: they were both wrong.
Yeah,
it just looked like a bunch of ice cream with a bunch of whipped cream piled on top of it. There's so much more to a sundae,
but it's so much different because Henry got it for him, and Henry has STYLE style.
Okay.
That's true.
It's
that's
said twice.
Yeah.
Preston adds 2 more things to his list. Girlfriend and biggest birthday party ever in the history of birthday parties. Sweet 16, get out of here. We're talking about Mr. McIntosh's birthday / Preston.
You know what you need for a birthday party, right, Matt?
Random adults?
No, you need a party planner. The greatest
Yvonne?
party planner of all time.
Oh my God.
What a horrible, horrible person she was.
She takes $10,000 from him as a deposit right off the bat.
Off a child.
She takes it out of his backpack.
Off a child. So not only
like what?
She's a thief. We clearly see the first thing we see of her, like, well, she's unscrupulous. A big word for whatever day it is today.
Almost everyone around Preston surrounding him in his life is awful to him.
They just want something from him, you know?
Yeah. I hate almost everything about Preston's millionaire life.
Yeah.
It makes me hate him. Like when I saw him playing in his inflatable boxing ring, I hated him.
Shadow boxing with his giant gloves. And
I'm an adult and I still don't have one of those. And I thought my life would be in a very different place by now.
Wait, did you want one?
I still want one.
Oh.
I had a wrestling match once in an inflatable house.
Listen up, news sites.
Not yeah.
You win?
Not as fun.
Who went over, bro?
We're gonna continue this talk later about that, but I'll have you know, not as fun as it seems.
Really?
Oh no, God,
everything
no.
everything hurts way more because your neck is landing in precarious positions where they should your ankles shouldn't move the way they do in there. Your neck shouldn't move the way it does in there.
It feels that feels 100% DDT Pro or
Absolutely.
GCW.
Yeah, absolutely. But beware, it's gonna hurt a lot more than a regular match.
That's the scoop.
That's the scoop.
Also, same thing with roller skates as an adult. It's so much harder on your feet than when you're a kid.
It is. That
I
is
tried
very
skateboarding
true.
with my son over the summer, and I was afraid I was going to break my knees when I tried to ollie or pop shove it.
Matt, you know this. Last year, I built a skateboard to get back into skateboarding because I haven't since I was a teen.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikki was getting into roller skating. I was like, well, I need something. I'm going to build a skateboard and reteach myself how to ride a skateboard. And then I fell down so hard that I was in pain for 2 months.
Yeah.
I definitely knocked my hip way out of alignment. And I was just like hobble. And like Nikki was on the other side of where it was nighttime. We were in an empty, just freshly paved parking lot. And all Nikki heard was like the skateboard go, ooh.
And yeah.
Gone.
Lean forward, don't lean back.
And then it was just me going like, I'm
wrestling
fine.
too.
Yeah, wrestling. Yeah. Lean forward, don't lean back.
Lean forward, never lean back. Yep.
Tuck that chin.
Let's talk about this party for Mr. McIntosh, the birthday party. Serpentico, what is the first thing that popped out to you wrong about this party, aside from everything?
I mean, it did. This is the one time in the movie where I did feel bad for this little child, millionaire child. I mean, he's all alone, you know. Nobody came to his party, which, to be fair, kind of his fault.
Yeah.
But I don't remember specifics of this party because I think by the time this part of the movie came on, I was so incensed with how inappropriate it is, the entire movie, where I'm like, oh, let's get through this section so you know we can go back to the real problem, which is, you know, the creepy FBI agent and the fugitive that, you know, no one cares, that is apparently missing from jail and no one gives a crap about.
I rewatched the end of this movie today before this recording, and this party planner is terrible.
Very bad.
She planned a party that she would want to go to, not a party that Preston and Mr. McIntosh would want to go to. I remember when they went to the food, he's like, there's not even pizza. And they had like weird artisan burned bread instead. And it was
I
like,
wrote down things at that table. At that table, there was that bread. There was sliced peppers and weird mushrooms.
Every kid's favorite. Oh yeah, because Henry did the mushroom eating my face joke, and Preston was like, stop being lame. We're grown-ups at a grown-up party or something like that.
with an orchestra playing in the background.
God, it looked like a house has never mismatched a party more.
No, not at all. There should be
like
nights.
the kid has Disneyland in his backyard. And they're like, well, we got some really good French onion croquettes. Yes. Past hors d'oeuvres. No alcohol.
There was a bar. They mentioned that the bar is closed.
Oh,
but there's all these people.
Well, they care about children's safety. I get it.
And there's people drinking champagne.
Sure.
But there are so many adults there that have never met Preston before. The guy guarding the present table for Mr. McIntosh doesn't know who Preston is and tells the kid to go find his parents and beat it. The rudest man in the movie.
Don't just get lost. Go find your parents and then get lost. Meaning you either have to get lost with them or tell your parents, I have to leave now, and you have to disappear forever.
Go ahead.
So question for you guys. So have you ever gone to a party for someone you don't know?
Yes.
No.
I don't know. I've never, right? Because I would feel awkward and, you know, go and show up and something like, oh, hey, happy something. I guess you're celebrating something. Yeah, heck yeah. Where's your food? I'm gonna go eat it. I don't know.
I've avoided the person that the party is for like the plague.
Okay, that makes sense. That I get that. That's a good strategy. That is very true. But all these adults showing up to this castle,
you know,
I don't know. What's your end game, bros?
They
What's
want to meet Macintosh?
meet Matt?
Don't we all?
Wait, did you,
But
Serpentico, did you just call him Big Mac? Because I'm into that.
I think from now on it's gonna be called Big Mac.
Big
Yes.
Write that
Yo,
down.
did I tell you about the Big Mac in Brazil, Matt?
No, please, let's take a sidetrack for this,
Oh, I wanna
please.
hear
So they have a, first of all, the beef patties are completely different in Brazil than they are in the States. They're not wet the way McDonald's beef is wet, if you know what I mean. And they don't have that seasoning, that McDonald's seasoning. But they have a variety of Big Macs because they have the single, the Duplo, the up to 4 patties of beef in a Big Mac with bacon as well. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's called the Big Mac Duplo, which in my mind I thought at first was like a Lego collab because of Duplos, because I'm a dumb American who forgot about the language barrier
Different
between
languages,
me and Brazil.
yeah.
I don't, as it turns out, I don't speak Portuguese.
Not at all.
Not at all. You think
Well,
I want
that
to
should
pick
be your
some
goal
up?
for the end of 2023. You got 3 weeks.
No, I'm good. I mean, I learned Duplo means 4.
There you go.
Maybe.
This party is being shut down by Yvonne because Preston doesn't have the $100,000 to pay her.
This did not look like $100,000 party, especially when in the world of this movie, $1 million can buy you literally everything.
Yes.
This party does not seem worth $100,000 at all, especially since you already paid a $10,000 down payment.
Well, you stolen $10,000 down payment.
Yeah.
Technically stolen out of the kid's backpack.
Are you telling me this party is worth 1/3 of this house? I don't think so. And you overpaid for this house. This house was going for what, 160? Are you telling me that the party is 100,000, but the asking price for the house was 160?
The party's almost worth as much as the original pricing of the house.
No, that's
is
stupid. That's dumb.
In that economy?
What a good economy.
Yeah. Also,
right?
He only had $300 left in his account. You could have easily been like, the bill for the party is $25,000 and had the exact same reaction, and it wouldn't have seemed so ludicrous.
I want to point out something about that scene because I zoomed in on there's numerous computer screens in the room where he realizes he has $300. If you look at the computer screen to his left, there is a chart for like stocks and trading, and below in a green bar and black writing, it says insider trading.
Yeah. Preston.
Huh.
That's against the law, Preston.
So many laws are broken in this movie.
This entire movie is against the law, apparently. No one's safe.
Every crime is committed.
Everything is being committed, but no one's doing anything about it.
Don't worry. After a montage of being chased Home Alone style with Preston beating up the bad guys, the FBI comes in with Shay, and
well, no, but even before that, he gets they literally chase him through the park, attempting to murder him with a car.
That's like scenes ago. That's like half an hour prior.
No, I know, but like that's wild to me. Like the whole point of this movie is adults are not good. Like across the board, adults are lying to you and want you dead,
and they want your money.
Shay, the super pretty girl.
She just want your money.
So she can make a bust.
They want your backpack full of money that you bring everywhere with you. Even though all the money was put into a bank account earlier.
Yeah, but now it's all cash.
No, I think he only put 200 into the bank account.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, to open the account, right?
How much he needed.
No. There's a scene where a secretary for Mr. McIntosh brings all the money to the bank, and Shay sees that it's marked bills. I believe it says under a blue, like a blue light, marked.
Oh God!
Just so the viewers at home really know what's going on.
This movie sucks.
Yeah.
I love it, but this movie sucks.
Yeah. So Quigley, being confronted by the FBI, understands that like Preston has built this new identity of Mr. McIntosh, and Quigley's going to take over. And Quigley says, "I'm Mr. McIntosh," and Shay and the FBI say, "You're under arrest, and so are your friends."
This is after they also attempt to kill Preston again.
Yes.
In the in the house, and Preston uses virtual reality as a weapon against the bank
It's
president.
1994. We got Johnny Mnemonic out. Virtuosity.
Yeah.
Let's virtual kill someone.
And also, like, the virtual reality is less virtual reality and more of like we put goggles on his head and then put like a Winamp visualizer on the television.
And then just obnoxious sounds, and that's it. And like,
Yeah,
all right, well,
like
good
what?
luck with
enjoy
your seizures.
Afterburner.
Hell
Good luck with your
yeah.
seizures and stuff. Sure.
So Shay's real name in real life is still Shay. So she's undercover using her
As
real
per
name
se.
at the bank.
Listen,
There's no vetting the new employees.
how if your job for the Federal Bureau of Investigation is to go undercover
And seduce a 12-year-old.
oh, well, okay, and seduce a 12-year-old.
I don't think that's part of the job description.
It just happened naturally.
It's just her shit. That's her specialty.
There's so much chemistry, you know. And you apparently come up with your own alias and go, my name's fine. It's fine. It's no one's gonna notice. It's okay. It's the equivalent of Clark Kent Superman just putting glasses over your head and going, all right, well, no one's gonna notice me. I'm different.
I'm also going by the name Superman now.
Yeah. My name is also Superman Kent. So
and then Shay, they talk about going on a date, 6 years. They kiss. Not like a open mouth kiss. But
No. She kisses him.
Yes.
They don't kiss. This adult says, call me when you're 14 or whatever, and then kisses him.
On the lips.
On the lips. She is going to have to go through so many classes after this back at FBI headquarters in Quantico, I guess. I don't know where the FBI is from. That sounds like the FBI.
It's unsettling.
I wrote something that I found to be profound, and I want you to tell me what you think about this.
Mm-hmm.
It just says, money is Preston's prison. He thought money was the key to his freedom away from everything, and then he got all the money and was still alone in his stupid inflatable boxing ring all by himself.
I think we come to that realization when Preston gets home and his family has a cake for him singing happy birthday and he has a new bike. That's his release.
Oh, you mean the cake that had conservatively 39 candles on it?
Maybe that's the whole thing all along, is that Preston's turning 39. So the relationship between him and Shay is fine.
A Benjamin Button type thing.
All I saw was candles all over this cake. And then he blew them all out except for one, and then blew it out. And what did he wish for? To get with the lady cop. He sees a picture of her on the wall. He's like, I know what I'm wishing for.
That's
weird.
That's yeah. I mean, just a little bit.
Also, when Henry and Preston say goodbye, it's maybe the most emotional scene in the movie, and not in a good way, in kind of a weird way.
Well, thanks for the job.
I guess I'm back to being an unemployed limo driver now. Thanks for making up a millionaire.
Yeah, thanks for lying to me for the past, however long this movie lasted, 2 3 weeks.
6 days. Everything in this movie they say happens over 6 freaking days.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's so unrealistic to have all that stuff delivered, picked, shopped, delivered to your house and installed in 6 days. I'm sorry. There's no way. I'm still waiting for something. Yeah.
Amazon promises 2-day shipping in our new world. And even still, things take way too long.
I call it the Jingle All the Way effect, where Jingle All the Way takes place technically over the course of 12 hours. Where like Arnold Schwarzenegger comes home, wakes up the next morning, and does all the things within a span of 3 hours.
And it's like Christmas Eve.
But it's a 3-hour movie or whatever, hour and a half movie.
Right.
But like you follow, it's almost real time 24 style. And Blank Check is 6 days, and it feels like a month.
It does. It does feel like a month with, man, this movie sucks.
Do you want to, can I looked up some fun facts about our leading man, Brian Bosnall.
Ooh, please. What's he up to now? Heck yeah.
Well, in 2007, he was arrested on a charge of assaulting his girlfriend.
Oh.
And then he, in 2009, he was arrested for 3rd-degree assault and failure to appear in connection with the 2007 assault.
Oh boy.
And then in
Jeez.
2010, he was arrested on charges of using cannabis in violation of his probation.
Yeah, that one's
That's
not
not.
as bad.
That's not wrong.
But
Wait, which state does he
happy-
live in? That's what it matters.
Well, I believe he lives in
Indiana?
I believe
Ugh.
he lives in the Boulder, Colorado region now. He got sober after his legal troubles. He's now married with a kid. He sings in a bunch of what look like not very good bands.
Wait, is he married to
he's-
Karen Duffy?
No,
Oh,
no, he's
that
married to
would've
some
been
other.
great.
He's married to some other woman, and they both have a bunch of tattoos. And also, Blank Check was his last movie.
Yeah.
He
Man,
did like
this-
78 episodes of the TV show Family Ties as the littlest Keaton, and then
Yeah.
Blank Check broke him. He was done.
So you're saying this movie ruined a great part of his life?
Probably.
Wow.
Because he
ruined a great
got
part of my
everything he
life.
wanted in a movie.
And when he was 12.
He reached the pinnacle.
How
and-
much fun was this movie to make? Because like, look at the set. The set
Oh,
is just
yeah.
this
Oh,
big
yeah.
house with a cool backyard. Like,
He just played around for however long it took.
I bet
to
him
make.
and Henry goofed around a bunch.
I bet he got a real crush on Karen Duffy, and Karen Duffy was like, "No, stop!
Yeah.
It's gross."
Don't
She goes
call
up to
me.
the director. I told you this would happen.
This always happens.
Anytime Karen Duffy's in a movie, the person co-starring super crush.
Someone gets a crush, and then she has to break their heart.
Yeah, Karen's like, "No, like we are working. This is inappropriate. I'm
We are
professional."
co-workers, please leave me alone, John.
I'm in my 30s. Karen Duffy is now 61 years old.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she is 61 years old. She's written 2 books about her experience of living with chronic pain.
Oh,
She has sarcoidosis.
I don't know what that
I
is.
don't- I could not,
It
yeah, I
affects
don't
the
know what that
brain,
is.
and it affects the brain and spinal cord.
Okay.
She
That
wrote
sucks.
the best-selling memoir "Model Patient: My Life as an Incurable Wise Ass,"
Perfect.
That's pretty funny.
and then her second book is called "Backbone: Living with Chronic Pain Without Turning into One." That's funny.
She's
I get it.
She still looks Karen Duffy.
Yeah,
Like, good for her. I mean, with the obstacles put in front of her, good for her.
and kudos on being an accomplished writer. I'd like to
Yeah.
do that someday.
We all want to do it someday.
I would love to write stuff.
Nyla Rose sucks.
Nyla
by Serpentico.
sucks. Yeah. Ooh. Man, if I ever get a book
You should
deal
write-
at the end
you
of my
should-
career, that one chapter
You
is
should write
scathing.
fan fiction. You should write fan fiction about how Serpentico beats Nyla Rose for the AEW championship.
You
It's
know
fan
what?
fiction, so that can happen.
That I have 7 days off coming up. I need something. I
Ah.
need something to do. So I think I
Sounds
just
like
found
someone
it.
has their holiday plans all lined up.
Oh, perfect.
Alternatively, there's like a lot of new stuff going on in Fortnite, so you could probably play that too.
No,
what
I
I'm
like the
doing.
first one you said better.
Oh, okay, well.
Serpentico
Guess someone
fan
won't
fiction.
be guess someone won't be dropping with me onto the island.
It's just you because I'm playing Minecraft with my son. Sorry.
When
There
are you
is a
gonna
Lego
invite-
Fortnite that just came out.
That's true, Matt.
I'm curious to check that out.
I started playing it last night. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Is it? I might check this for.
Oh,
It's
now
it's
I'm
very
gonna
it's
check it
it's
out.
it's very Minecrafty, but your characters, your avatars are Lego minifigs.
Heck
Is it
yeah.
free?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so then is it on Switch as well as PC?
Yeah.
All right, so I can
Oh.
cross-platform with my son on that.
There you
Also,
go.
Matt, they're launching Fortnite Racing, which is like Fortnite Mario Kart, and that's also free. And then tomorrow they're launching Fortnite Festival. They've partnered with Harmonix to bring Rock Band elements to Fortnite.
Oh, come on. Well, all right.
I do not know if that means you can play it with a guitar yet, but as you can see, I have my Rock Band guitar right behind me and ready to be plugged into my computer if it's allowed.
Someone's gonna try something.
Chris, if this is a full disclosure podcast, if you are being sponsored by Fork Knife, you have to say it.
You have a
I
list.
wish. Are you kidding me? If Fortnite would pay me to say anything, that'd be great. Because as it stands, I give them money.
Yeah. It's
I would talk about Fortnite in exchange for free skins of like Will Smith and whatnot,
Heck yeah.
which is still my favorite skin. The Ninja Turtles are coming to Fortnite this season. What? That's the
did-
big rumor.
Did you get the buff Peter Griffin?
No, I don't
Nah.
like Family Guy. But I think it's a part of the battle pass, so I'll eventually have it against my will.
Of course. Yeah.
Will I use it? Absolutely not. I don't understand it.
I think that's where we end it. Serpentico, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. Heck yeah.
You're because I asked you, because Chris and I had planned on doing this for a while, and the last time we did an interview, I'm like, hey, do you want to come on and talk about Blank Check? And I believe your response was absolutely.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So any other movie you guys want me to scour and view and shake my head at, I will definitely do it.
They're all going to be bad.
Perfect.
I was gonna make you do an audio commentary for me, Matt. For Airborne.
Oh, I love Airborne.
The amazing early 90s rollerblading teens movie.
Seth Green, Jack Black, and then the lead character.
Shane McDermott.
Oh.
Who I followed. I follow on Instagram. He lives in Texas now and is like an art gallerist and like still talks about Airborne. And I'm like, I know this is for me specifically because nobody else remembers this movie.
So that's it for this week's episode. We've already done plugs at the beginning because doing plugs at the end, people are hitting stop right now.
Oh, you should like and subscribe to this podcast and also my podcast, Big Kid, on Apple and Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
You should follow I have a Substack, haynerland.substack.com. I'm trying to update it more.
Make sure to read Serpentico's fan fiction.
It'll be out sometime this week. I don't know where.
AO3.org/serpentico.html.
Check Twitter. You'll probably see something.
Just start a Substack.
Just do a series of tweets in one really long thread. That's what people like about Twitter.
Yes,
when the threads just keep going.
When they can read a book on their phone. Yeah, I like this. All right, that sounds great.
You heard that, wrestling news site, Serpentico's fan fiction on Twitter.
Also, I will volunteer if you need someone to record the audiobook for you.
Ooh.
I can play Nyla Rose or Serpentico or
Heck
both.
Yeah. You know what? We'll have to talk. Yes, this sounds great. I love this. All right. Business ventures happening on podcast. I like it.
Oh, we're Hand and Foot incorporated.
Hand and foot. Hand and foot. Butt to face.
See you next week.
See yous.
Hey, thanks once again to Serpentico for coming on to this very silly show. Make sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. I don't know what you do. You're your own person. While we're at it, subscribe for free on Patreon or pay me money, but I prefer you do it for free. I feel guilty when people pay me to listen to podcasts and write things when it's all free for the time being. Opening and closing music by The Muggles. Singer Tom Wanderer. Bassist Andrew Parks. Guitarist Will Ash. Drummer Matt Elfring. You can go to muggles.bandcamp.com and get this whole album on vinyl. What do you know? It contains our studio album, which you can kind of hear a song in the background right now, and a 4-track demo recording we made in my parents' basement 20 years ago. That's right, the studio recording and the demo are 20 years old, and it came out 2023. I like the album. I'm pretty proud of it. Anyway, we will see you next week on Casual Yelling. One more episode under the old banner, the old podcast. Then it officially becomes Casual Yelling. Exciting stuff. See you next week.